Make standard great again. But Trav, standard was never great. It's always been bad. It's always been cancer. What are you talking about, bro? What you bruh? Yo, what up? Welcome in. Much love, Trav here. A little bit of change of scenery. Just got in from Mexico to Washington, D.C. Bunch of pros gathering here this weekend for a draft camp. And I am staying with an old roommate. We got the sirens. Got my Starbucks. We're going to a playoff Wizards game tomorrow and hanging out, killing time before a hot yoga class right now. Fun, doing fun things. And the question that has been coming up a lot is, when was standard even good? Okay, you're complaining about standard. Standard has always been bad. And that's a fair point. I mean, turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Pack Rat, turn 3 Pack Rat, turn 4 Pack Rat, turn 5 Pack Rat. That's cancer. That was not good. That was not fun. That shit should have been banned, right? How about, well, we're coming up to the park here. How about Mirodin? That was pure cancer. Well, shit got banned there too as well. So when was standard good? Well, here's the thing. Standard is not always good, but it's usually not this bad. And the first thing is, when is standard good? Standard is usually good right around the time of a big rotation is the first time. Like any time of big rotation. Standard gets bad and stagnant when it's solved. But when there's a big rotation and things change, then people get to brew. One of the things that makes standard fun is deck building. Everyone has a chance at the first game day, right? Park's coming up here, nice. So that's why I was personally for the multi-rotation new thing they did, but they took back, because I thought that was going to make standard a lot better. And that's just a general trend. Anytime that there's a big change, at least for that first month, it's pretty fun, because you can kind of do anything until the net deckers take over. And no shame to net deckers, because you want to win right now, then do what it do. But right after a rotation, there's nothing in net deck. If there's no rotation, the new set isn't always strong enough to break the old decks, and there's just updates. And that's where we are right now, is we wanted a rotation. A rotation could mean banning, or it could mean, how do I get to the park right now? Let's go check it out. I think I might have entered a dead end here. Shout out to Starbucks. Yeah, this doesn't look right. I need to get down there. And I'm not gonna... Let's continue on here. Okay. So those are general times when standard is good. Here's another general time when standard is good, or is at least playable. Is its least cancerous state, is when the best deck is a mid-range deck. Times when the best deck is a mid-range deck is a lot better, because mid-range decks are by definition slow. They're not going to punish you for being slow so much. They're not going to punish you for brewing and taking time to set up. They're not going to combo kill you out of nowhere when you tap out. On the other hand, when the best deck is a hardcore control deck, it's not necessarily the best, because you can't do that much stuff, but it's not so bad because you do have time to set up. The worst is when the best decks are hardcore aggro, because you have no time to dirtle. You can't set up at all. You have to start playing from turn 1. In standard, that really limits your options. And the standard is the worst when the best deck is also combo kill. If they're going to kill you from tapping out, then there's not a whole lot you can do. You need to really change your deck in a lot of ways. You can't mid-range. That's where we are right now. There's a rule in standard. You can't build your deck with the plan of tapping out after turn 5. What about these 5 and 6 and 7 drop rares and mythics that got printed? Can't do it. Okay? So, when was mid-range the best? And this is, you know, I'm arguing what's fun or not, but we look at different metrics of what makes a format good. Is diversity, at least having fringe tier 2, being able to do things, having more options, more brewing, having longer games. I would say format, an example of a time when a format was reasonable. I'm gonna throw some out, and you might not like these. I'm gonna go through recent. when Bant Coco was the best deck, yeah, that was pretty annoying, but you could do things because they weren't really killing until turn 6, turn 7. They're a slow deck. Once Spellcaller came out, okay. Not necessarily the best, but not as bad as this for sure. Move back even further. Cons wasn't so bad. When people were playing like Jeskai Black and Mardu Green and stuff like that, because I really liked that. I was playing Tamir with white, Honored Hierarch stuff. You could like play 3, 4 colors, you can build anything. You can play almost anything. There's no really fast decks, or very few. There's no real punishing. I mean, there was a Tarka Red, but there's so many decks you could play. There wasn't really, to me, that was one of the better formats. The problem was cost. You had to have the fetch lands and the shock lands, but we're not necessarily talking about cost. It wasn't too bad. It's always going to be expensive. So moving back further, like Ravnica, either Ravnica was pretty okay because again it was mid-range decks. Like, yeah, Thragtusk and Sphinx's Revelation are really annoying when people are playing those, but you have time to set up and can do a lot of crazy shit and build lots of crazy brews and do crazy things. That's when I was playing Fog Door, Fog combo. I was also doing things, we made it to the park. You could also do things like 7-drop, reanimate, cast 7 drops. Play lots of big bombs and so on. So, going back further, I don't see a reason to go back further than that, but basically, my feeling is that to make a good standard format, there's pros and cons to it, but rotation is always a good bet. Is this even the park? It looks like a park. Down here, okay. Rotation, or is this a homeless encampment? Sorry if I'm in your house. Oops. Rotation is good. It makes you get new cards. That sucks, but... And mid-range dominated formats are okay. I would say the least bad is mid-range dominated, control dominated, aggro dominated, combo dominated. Combo dominated is the worst because it warps the format so much. And that's where we are right now, is no rotation for ages, combo dominated, then aggro dominated. So it's exactly the same, and you're not even allowed to play mid-range, or you're gonna get fucking raffle stomped. You can't cast big, you can't play ramp, you can't cast big things, you can't tap out, or you're just gonna get killed out of nowhere, walking backward stairs. Check out my TEDx talk on why some people think it's better to go backwards down slopes. So tell me what you think. When was standard actually playable? Has it always been bad? Maybe, but it's often less bad than it is now, right? So that's all I gotta say about that. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have some standard content coming up for you as we prepare for the Pro Tour, but a lot of draft as well. Should be good, should be fun. Let me know what you think. Those of you who want the coaching, apply below, MTG Mastermind. Those of you who want to support the videos somehow, you can throw me $1 on Patreon. There should be a link to that somewhere down there as well. I haven't pushed that in a while, but just throwing it out, and thanks to all of you who do that. And it's time to go do some yoga. Let's do this shit. Fuck yeah, bruh. See you soon. Peace.